We're hoping for a final order. The issues before us are non-disclosure, confirmation of arrears, and modification of support for the Robinsons' child. I would note that Mr. Robinson was ordered to provide health and dental coverage under the divorce decree in 2017. And he has been. I anticipate Ms. Robinson may want to change that in terms of who provides that coverage based on some concerns about in-network doctor availability, but we will get to that. We will cross that bridge. Thank you. All right, Ms. Robinson, please state your name for the record.
Corey Robinson.
And what is the name and date of birth of your child?
Cherish Robinson, August 4th, 2008.
Thank you. Who's the child's father?
Thurman Robinson.
And were you and Mr. Robinson married?
Yes.
And when did you divorce?
May 18th of 2017.
Thank you. So in my opening statement, I mentioned the issue of non-disclosure, and we discussed that earlier. Non-disclosure entails not including your address, phone number, email address, and employment information from any orders we issue. Are you concerned about your safety if this information is on the order?
I'm okay with him having the information as long as he respects my information. In the past, he hasn't.
Yeah, what do you mind elaborating on that?
Yes, he would go radio silent for a period of time, and then randomly he would pop up on his on a visitation day at my address without any kind of notification whatsoever. He would bring the police, and there'd be a bit of a spectacle every time that he did it. It happened at least at 3 different addresses, and since then I've tried to keep my address private.
Thank you, ma'am. Anything else you wanted to add on that issue?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. And did you ever have like a protective order against Mr. Robinson?
No, I did not.
And have you been in regular contact with him since your divorce?
No, I have not.
Okay. In terms of, so one of the issues before us is arrears. And Your Honor, I'd like to offer into evidence, I emailed it to the parties and Ms. Molina prior to the hearing. It's the financial activity report, State's Exhibit 1. And I apologize if it's not marked.
All right, folks, this is State's Exhibit 1, number 1. It shows what funds have been paid to the state's disbursement unit for child support in this case. Is there any legal reason this should not come into evidence at this time, Ms. Robinson?
No.
Mr. Robinson?
No.
All right, State's 1's admitted. You may proceed.
Thank you. So it looks like effective September 30th of 2024, it looks like actually it says September 17th, 2024, but I guess effective September 30th. It looks like Mr. Robinson's arrearage balance was $13.04. Do you have any reason to disagree with that?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you. And in terms of the child support, aside from the payments that are in the payment activity, did Mr. Robinson, do you ever make any direct payments to you aside from what's in that record?
No, he has not.
Okay, let's switch gears. So it's my understanding you currently have child health insurance for your child. Is that correct?
Correct.
Was I correct in stating earlier that as part of your divorce decree, Mr. Robinson was ordered to cover medical and dental coverage for your child?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. It's my understanding. So is it your understanding he's been providing that since the divorce?
I wasn't sure. It wasn't until 2019 he had a lawyer that I reached out to the lawyer to get the medical card. When I received the card, I contacted the insurance carrier and was told that there wasn't a provider in Bexar County. The closest one was going to be in San Marcos, which I think is Hayes County, which is about an hour away from where we lived. Then I contacted the lawyer to let her know that coverage wasn't adequate, but I was and nothing came of it. So I just continued to cover her under my insurance.
All right, ma'am, real quick, who was the insurance card from?
It was his You mean the insurance company that he's with?
Right,
Baylor Scott White?
okay, thank you.
Mhm.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. And then do you also carry dental coverage?
Yes, correct, I do.
Okay, and I know I have no doubt that you submitted that information to me about what you're paying. Do you know roughly what you're paying for dental for your child?
The dental is about $70 a month.
So does that include you and your daughter?
Right, it's self plus one.
Okay, self plus one. And then the health coverage, what are you paying for that?
About $300 a month.
Okay, and that's for, oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, that's also self plus one.
Got it. And that's also you and your child.
Correct.
Okay. And so the main reason you want to change the coverage is just because of availability of care?
Yes. And I've been, she's had my insurance for since 2017, so I thought it would be easier just to maintain that.
So another issue before us has to do with modification of child support. So under the order in 2017, it looks like Mr. Robinson was ordered to pay you $250 per month in child support. Is that your understanding?
Yes, I agreed to that at the time.
Okay. So now, you know, effective, I guess, what is your position on child support now?
Originally, I agreed to the 250 because he was transitioning out of the military. And it was always my assumption that we would go back and revisit that later, but that hadn't happened. I also was under the assumption that he would supplement that through other things that parents that normally do, but that's never happened either.
Okay, I know I've asked you a number of questions. At this time, I don't have any further questions for you. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, ma'am?
I just asked that the court do what's fair.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Okay, that's all the questions I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. We'll be back in just a moment. We'll go ahead and call the next witness, please.
Okay, I'll call Mr. Robinson. Mr. Robinson, can you please state your name for the record?
Herman Lee Robinson Jr.
Thank you. And you're the father of Cherish Robinson, correct?
Yes.
Do you have any other children aside from Cherish who are under the age of 18 and who you have a child support obligation for?
No. I don't have any children under the age of 18 that I have child support for.
And then my understanding, so you provided pay stubs, is that correct?
Yes.
And Your Honor, I wanted to offer there 3 separate pay stubs. I wanted to offer those as State's Exhibit 2.
All right, Mr. Robinson, Ms. Robinson, state has provided 3 separate pay stubs from Mr. Robinson at this time. Is there any legal reason, Mr. Robinson, these should not come into evidence at this time, sir?
No.
Ms. Robinson?
No, sir.
Yes.
I'm sorry, sir.
I said no.
Okay. All right, and Ms. Robinson, there's no objection?
No, sir.
All right, states 2 are admitted as a cumulative exhibit. You may proceed.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. So I was going to state for the record that it appears that you're an hourly employee. Is that correct, Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Approximately how many hours do you work per week?
40.
Okay. I did note on the pay stubs there was some overtime indicated. Did you want to discuss that?
Yes, I don't normally work overtime. So anytime I do work overtime, it's just due for meetings or I take care of patients. So it's not a weekly, I do overtime.
Okay, and you also receive VA disability payments. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and it's our understanding, according to our records, the amount of disability you receive is $4,202.42. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then, Your Honor, we calculated child support based on the, let me back up a little bit. So we came up with a calculation for his wages and salary of $4,376.89. And then, as I mentioned, we also have the VA disability of $4,202.42 per month. And then taxes were calculated to be $694.72. And the insurance calculation we came up with was $101.74. So total, the net resources we came up with was $7,782.85. And this is based on, we used the year to date for the pay period ending, I think it's October 20th, 2024. And so in terms of guideline child support, what we calculated for the one child would be 20%. So the child support guideline we came up with was $1,556.57.
1,000, what again, please?
$1,556.57.
Okay, you may proceed.
All right, thank you. And I know there were some things that before we went on the record, Mr. Robinson, that you wanted to bring to the court's attention.
Yes, the $4,202 is including with my spouse and my stepdaughter. So with Cherish on there, I forget the amount.
All right, sorry, I need a clarification. Are you talking about your VA are you talking about the VA disability?
Yes, it's calculated as with 3 dependents.
Yes, sir, but you do get those funds, correct?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead.
With those funds, my other 2 dependents are included with that. So with Cherish on there, that amount would be lower. If I just had Cherish on there, that amount would be lower. Just like we did the vision and dental, we did it at a prorated of how much I pay for insurance for Cherish and dental for Cherish. I thought we was going to do the same thing for that VA disability when it comes to adding up the child support.
Okay, so it's the amount that you get is the amount that I have to look at. If that's going to change, then obviously I can look at it when it changes. But for right now, this is what you've been getting, and no matter what it's based on, if you're receiving those funds and they're not going directly to another party, then that's your income, sir.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify. I just was confused about how they was prorating the vision and the dental and the medical insurance.
That prorated is an amount that well, it's prorated only because the state it's not going for a full year, but it's prorated based on the fact that's what you actually pay out of pocket for those items. It's money going out, and where this other is money coming in.
No, they told me that it was for how much I would be paying for Cherish, not prorated because it's not a whole year.
Yes, sir. It's based on what the money is that you would have. I'm sorry, that you expend for Cherish for the insurance that you provide for Cherish. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
And
So again,
Mr.
it's still an outgo, but it's an outgo based on what that child that you actually pay for that child. What you're actually receiving is based on what you get, maybe based on other folks, other people in your household. But it is money. It's still funds coming to you. It's not an outgo. It is income, right, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's not prorated, sir. That's strict income because that's your money. It's not the other party's money. It's yours.
Okay.
All right. You may proceed, Ms. Oppen.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Robinson, we discussed this earlier, the financial activity report that documented arrearages in this case. According to our record, as of September 30th, 2024, the amount of arrearages was $13.04. Do you have any reason to disagree with that?
Outside of, no, not really. The state takes money out of my paycheck every 2 weeks. So I wouldn't understand why I would be in the rear when they'll calculate how much is supposed to come out.
Yeah, so that's based on a 2-week pay schedule, but what that means at the end of the year, the entire amount would be paid, but by a month-to-month basis, it could be up 1 month, it could be down the last, but at the end of the year, it zeroes out. Because there are 52 weeks in the year, and that doesn't correspond to every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks means you get 26 pay periods. And that's why it's like that. It's never going to be exactly even, sir, until it evens out over a 1-year time frame.
Understood. I have no issues with the
All right,
the
thank you.
amount that was reared.
All right, because I'm not going to order repayment of the arrears because, like I said, it's going to catch up sooner or later. Some months you'll be ahead, some months you'll be a little ahead, some months you'll be a little behind, but it all averages out. So next question, Ms. Hopkins.
No, Your Honor, I did want to bring to your attention, even though I think we've already touched on it, that in terms of court costs, Mr. Robinson is a veteran.
Yeah, I'll wait for it costs. It's not a problem.
I don't think I have any further questions. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so you obviously work with Baylor Scott White, and Baylor Scott White does not have any hospitals. I know they got them in Dallas, they got them in Waco, they got them in Temple, they got them in Austin. They don't have anything in San Antonio, is my understanding. Is that correct, sir?
All right. They don't have any hospitals. Correct.
Do they have any physicians that they're associated with in San Antonio that you know of, sir?
Yes, they do.
Do you have a list of such physicians?
Yes, I do.
Have you provided Ms. Robinson with that list?
Miss Robinson has never contacted me about anything pertaining to Cherish.
Okay.
Well, Your Honor, I know one of the issues before us is non-disclosure. I don't know if you want to.
Well, I'm not sure. Okay, based on what the mother's testimony was previously, I'm not sure it gets there anywhere close to non-disclosure. But if you got questions of the father about non-disclosure and exchanges and all those other items, I don't think I could modify that portion of the order. All I can deal with is the parent child support issues before the court. And normally I would tell dad he's got to give mom so many days advance notice, but the visitation package is not before the court on modification. So those circumstances are as they are. So you may proceed.
Sure. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Robinson, did you have anything to add on that non-disclosure issue?
Yes. So Mrs. Robinson has moved to California when we first got divorced and did not inform me of where Cherish lives so I can do visitations. From there, I can't remember the first time when I went to visit Cherish. I can't remember how I got that address. And once I came there for visitation, she denied it. I called police just so I can have record that she denied my visitation.
I'm not gonna, I need to cut y'all off on this one because again, these matters are not before the court. But the bottom line is your original order is very, very specific on the requirements and notifications of where you live and when you move and how soon you have to let the other party know of those changes, along with changes of phone numbers and other forms of communication. And that's in the court order and that is enforceable. So you both may want to talk to your own lawyers about that, how you might want to handle that. But again, ma'am, if you move, and I'm sorry, I had not gone back over your old decree of divorce, but if it's a standard decree of divorce, you have so many days to actually tell him where you're living. And if you change phones and jobs and other things, it's all spelled out in there that how fast you have to do that. And if you have done it, then you're fine. If you have not done it, then you're in violation of the court order for that information. And that can be problematic. But right now, I got no enforcements before me. I got no modifications of that. I've got no modifications of notice. You both may need to talk to your own lawyers how y'all might want to try to handle that. But I will let parties know anything dealing with visitation and child support, including the proper notices of address and the proper payments, are all enforceable. And all that is still enforceable through the Bell County order. And Sarah, I'm not sure if you still live in Bell County. I see you work in Round Rock. I'm not sure if you still live in Bell County. And ma'am, obviously you live in Bear County. So who ends up having jurisdiction on this in the long run, I don't know. But right now, it's all still in Belton and still under either mine or the 164. So that's that. So
I'm still in Bell County.
so if that's still in Bell County, then then obviously this is still in Bell County until there's a proper motion to transfer based on circumstances that will allow the court there the court here to transfer. So again, that's left up to you to get those attorneys. But I'm hearing two different stories, but right now none of those items are before me as far as that's concerned. So I'm just letting you know that I haven't heard anything. Ms. Hopkins is going to go that is close to granting non-disclosure. It sounds like these folks still have some problems as far as communication is concerned. And I can't even deal with that because that's not before the court this time. So, unless there's something else about the non-disclosure circumstance the mom is asking for, Ms. Hopkins, there's not sufficient evidence for that at this point. So, but you can recall her and you can further have ask Mr. Robinson further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Robinson, anything else you wanted to add on the non-disclosure issue?
No. No.
Thank you. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, then, Ms. Robinson, I've heard his side. If there's other things on your side you need to tell the court, is there anything else you need to tell the court on the issue dealing with non-disclosure that is pertinent to that issue, ma'am? Whether or not he's giving you notice and all those other items, that's not technically, that's not before the court this time, and that's not relevant. Everything has to be done in conformity with that court order, and right now the non-disclosure portion that is actually planned for, based on what I've heard, there's not evidence substantial enough for me to order that at this point. So if there's anything else you want to add to that point, ma'am, since you're technically representing yourself.
No, sir, I have nothing else to add. I do have a question, if you don't mind.
All right, what's your question, ma'am?
If I were to ask for a modification as far as getting the case moved to Bear County, do I do that through the OAG, or do I need to go to the court here? And
you need to talk to a lawyer and to see whether or not that's possible, ma'am. Okay, and that would be your own counsel. All right.
Understood.
The state does updates, but the states don't, unless it's part of the update, they don't do a request for transfer in and of themselves.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. All right, folks. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right, Ms. Hopkins, anything else about any other questions of either witness?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, now, based on, obviously, I've got to order the modification. The part dealing with the health insurance is problematic, but sir, you're obviously ordered to, and I'm going to order as part of the order that you forward Ms. Robinson any information concerning your insurance, including the back in the good old days, they used to just have it as a pamphlet who's available in what areas for services, but it's probably all a PDF these days, so you need to get that information to her. Ma'am, does he currently have your contact information for his mailing address, emails, and or telephone numbers?
I sent him a text earlier, so he should have my phone number, and my email address is the same as it was when we were married. Okay, then we can forward that. But how about your physical address, ma'am? He does not have my current address, no. All right, ma'am. Again, I haven't looked back over your order, but if you got a standard order, you were ordered to give him that address information, because all parents have a right to know where their kids live. So you talk to your own lawyer, but you probably will need to update ASAP. Otherwise, you may eventually be found in violation of the court order. But I'll let you folks figure that out once you get the proper pleadings before either me or the district judge. Anything else? And at this time, I ask Ms. Hopkins, what else are you requesting? I'm going to do the modification based on the information I'm looking at, ordering the child, finding that dad owes no money. I'm going to go ahead and waive court costs. But as far as the non-disclosure, I'm not granting it. And as far as the health insurance,
that is kind of problematic, but right now, since dad has not known mom's address to send information to, that falls upon her to correct that information, and for dad, if dad knows what that email is, I'll have you take her back in the breakout room in a moment to figure out what that is and get her a pamphlet. But for right now, based on these circumstances, I don't see that I can order a change in our dad to start paying cash medical based on the testimony I've had as from the parties concerning their communication with each other and their information being exchanged. And if, ma'am, if you could actually confirm that there are actually no physician, nurses, facilities that Scott White has contracted out in Baylor County, then obviously you can come back and ask the court to do that. But for right now, I don't have sufficient information. So, Ms. Hopkins, I'm looking at making this a temp order and doing a reset to find out whether or not there's actually coverage by Baylor Scott White in San Antonio, and for dad to get mom that information. And if there isn't, then we can always take this back up.
I see. So, Your Honor, you want Mr. Robinson to email Ms. Robinson a list of is it in-network healthcare providers in Bexar County?
Correct.
Okay.
Sir,
May I ask a question?
do you have that old email address, sir?
I was going to confirm the email address, and another question, is it only for primary care, or are they looking for any specialty clinics as well?
All of it, sir. Primary care, specialty clinics, and dental also as based on your prior order, sir. Okay.
Okay. No, I just didn't want to, since it is like a PDF kind of all the providers on the website for the health plan, you can choose different specialties. So I wasn't sure which specialties I should send to Ms. Robinson, or do
Everything you've got access, sir. It's a PDF,
Okay.
sir. It's a downloadable. It's a file. Just send it all to her. Let it, and it will be up to her to go through it and figure out who she might want to use, and see and who's in network, and see whether or not anybody she's already using is in network. All right.
Will do.
All right.
And so, Your Honor, in terms of arrears denied. How about?
I don't need to make a repayment. I'll grant what's there, but I don't need to order a repayment. All right.
Okay. And then in terms of the child support modification.
That's granted as per the request of the state, and still based on the fact that dad is providing health insurance at this through Scott White health plan.
And what is the effective date?
For what, the child support repayment? I mean, modification?
Yes.
All right, let me take a look at the service dates on this. Okay, if I was current child support is how much each month?
Is that the current amount?
Yes.
The current amount is $250 per month.
Okay, I keep seeing that 250, but yeah, all right. All right, then I can order it anytime in between service and the day's date, so I'll make it on Texas fiscal year. The new child support amount is due and owed on the first day of September 2024. Okay, again, I can go all the way back, I can go all the way forward, but I'm gonna split the baby in half since it's only money, and I'll order it to start the 1st of September.
Okay, and that's let's see, the guideline amount,
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's okay. It's let's see, let me make sure we got it right. I believe it's 1,500. Let me pull it up real quick. I apologize. I believe it's $1,556.57.
All right, then. All right, here's the deal, folks. Under Texas law, I can go all the way back to the first day of the month after service of citation, which is the 1st of June. I can go all the way forward to the next, till November the 1st. But to be fair to both sides, because it does take some time to get into court after service, I'm just going to go ahead and split it out and order it to start the first day of September, because dad is paid in full. I'm not going to knock him for that entire amount, and I'm not going to knock mom for that entire amount. I'm just going to do it somewhere down the middle, and that's the court's decision on that one. All right. Anything else, Ms. Hubbins?
No, thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, everyone.
All right, everybody. Mr. Robinson, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll order you to send that information over. Here's the deal, folks. I'm going to go ahead and make this a final order, but if there is a problem with this, then I'll ask whoever has a problem to file what's called a motion for update or rehearing and get that done before 30 days is up. And I'll bring everybody back in here to figure out what the problem was. Because I think I'll tell you what, I'm just going to go ahead and do a reset for entry of order on this one, just to make sure everything has been done and there's not a problem. So I'm going to have the state circulate an order to both of you, and I'm going to have a date for later in November for me to actually sign that order based on the court setting this for a hearing on that order. So by then, all that information should be exchanged. So either you could show up on that date to tell the court why I should not sign the final order, and Ms. Huffins, I'm going to go ahead and put that on. Let's gotta bring back up the Zoom calendar. I love this. And I'm in January, so I gotta come back. So let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and reset this for the Zoom docket on November the 14th at 9 a.m. Neither of you have to appear on that date if you don't want to. But the bottom line is I'm gonna go ahead and have the state set it on that day for entry of order. And if either you have a request for change in the order, you need to file that and send the other party a copy of that request on or before November the 7th, which is a week before that. But for right now, I'm resetting this matter to the 14th for entry of order. All right, thank you. So that gives me a chance to double check to make sure everybody's gotten what they're supposed to get. So I'm gonna go through one more time with each of you. Anything else, Mr. Robinson? Any other questions, sir?
Yes, on the VA benefits, in the original degree, we agreed to stay away from each other's benefits.
Okay, sir, we're not doing any dealing with benefits, but that VA benefits count as income. Well, the cash counts as income, not all the benefits, but the cash counts as income. And that agreement can always be changed going forward, sir, because it is not, it is what it is. It is income to you. If that's what you're talking about, I still got to look at it. I look at VA benefits, the VA income every single week of this of my docket, because we have a lot of retired military people here, and it counts.
Okay.
All right. Next question, sir.
That's all I have for you.
All right, Ms. Robinson, questions, ma'am?
No, I have no questions at this moment, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. If anybody wants to show up on the 14th, you can do so and update the court on those circumstances dealing with the providers in Bexar County. But ma'am, if there are providers in Bexar County as far as general physicians and specialty people and dental, then then we're gonna then it's his right under the court order to set up the health insurance as part of this child support. All right.
Okay. Yes,
All
sir.
right. All right.
Thank you. And Your Honor, you want me to draft this as not a temporary order, as an
Yeah,
order?
go ahead and draft it as a final, but mark it for entry on the 14th, so that way everybody can come back in and either yell at the judge or tell me there's been a problem, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, folks, good luck to both of you. Everybody, I'll see everybody on that date.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you want to show up there. All right, thank you. We're off the record.
Hey, I got you, put you on child support.
No, you know.
Ha ha ha.
No.